It is our job to do the work on ourselves, to be better, to show up better for our children.
Hi, my name is Becky Jennings, and this is the Responsible Parenting Podcast. I give you the transformational tools to stop reacting to your children in the moment and start responding with intention.
This is a challenging one for me. I have my tissues handy, and I think this will, well, I hope this will help in any way, shape, or form with where we are as a country right now and where we are as parents right now. As I'm recording this, we just had the most recent Nashville, Tennessee school shooting, which 3 children were murdered and 3 staff members were murdered. And we can sit here in hopelessness, in fear, in grief, in sadness, in anger, in rage. And still, it feels like nothing is moving the needle. Right now, my youngest is napping, safe in his bed, and my oldest is at school. And every single time after a mass shooting, every single time we drop our children back off at school, it is the most terrifying moment. And it's confusing as hell because if a roller coaster was not working at a carnival, we would not place our children on the roller coaster and just tell them to have fun and embrace it. Yet every single day when we drop our children off at school, we hope and pray that it's not our kids' school that day. I've been really grappling with how to show up on this platform and how to speak to this because my job is to coach parents, right? My job is emotional regulation. My job is nervous system regulation. And I can tell you that every fiber of my being has been on fire. I have been endlessly crying. And it's as if my nervous system has been telling me to just jump out of my skin. At times, I just want to mobilize and rage and fly to DC and sleep on the steps until something happens. And then there are other times when I just want to go to sleep and forget it's happening. It has been the most challenging as a parent, especially a parent who has gone through the death of a child. Every single mass shooting, it's like I'm welcoming another round of parents to what it feels like. And while I never got to live with my child, and while I never got to see him go to school or to pack his backpack or his lunch, I still know the hole in my heart and the ache that those parents feel now. So, what can we do? Okay. What can we do? And I've been really trying to put into words what we can do at home Yes, call the representatives. Yes, take action. Yes, donate. Yes to all of that. Absolutely. But how, as parents, can we show up and stop the cycle at home? Because it's clear as day that nothing is changing in terms of gun laws and nothing is changing from our representatives. And it dawned on me as I was listening to Representative Tim Burchett. He's the Republican in the district of the shooting. And he said something, and I'm going to read it because I want to make sure it's crystal clear. He said, "My daddy fought in the Second World War against the Japanese in the Pacific, and his daddy taught him this. If someone wants to take you out and doesn't mind losing their life, there's not a whole heck of a lot you can do about it." As he was saying this, my first reaction was, "Are you kidding me?" But then it dawned on me that his daddy's experience in the war and his daddy's trauma that he experienced to his nervous system, to his belief system, was so shaken that he brought back that life lesson that lived with Representative Tim Burchett for his entire life. So, the representative who votes against gun reform, I'm sure there's several reasons why, but at the core of his being, and again, I'm just extrapolating from the data that he has presented to us as a nation, as us mothers, to our nation. Sound bites, pictures, his words. That his daddy's advice was, when faced with a hard decision, it's safer and easier to freeze versus mobilize and take action. So if I'm going to extrapolate a pattern from Representative Burchett's life, and again, I don't have a window into his life. I can only just imagine, based off his Christmas cards holding assault rifles and from his daddy's life experience in the war, that coming to a parent when having an emotional experience, maybe fighting with a bully, having a breakup, having any sort of emotional experience, I'm sure was not met with understanding, validation, trying to get to the root of the feeling and work through it safely, trying to recognize the nervous system cues. So, how do we change the pattern? Well, first, as parents, we need to model the behavior at home that we want to see out in the world. So if your child comes to you in pain, having experienced a fight, with uncertainty, confusion, and we meet them with, "Ah, get over it, it's not that big of a deal," or we meet them with abuse, slapping, hitting, spanking. If we meet them by saying, "Buddy, stop annoying me," if we do this repetitively, we are not setting our children up for a safe discharge of pent up anger, frustration, aggression, emotion. If we take a radical shift as parents and start showing up in a way that validates our child's experience, that validates what they are going through, instead of dismissing it, instead of saying, "Ah, I went through that, you can get through it too." Because Representative Tim Burchett's dad went through a war. Lord knows what he witnessed and experienced. Came back and taught his child the lesson There's not much you can do about it. But there is. But there is. There is so much we can do. And it starts by modeling at home the behavior that we want to see in this world. If we can show up with more compassion, if we can show up with more empathy, if we can show up with more capacity to hold what's going on for our children, I truly believe that the children who are hurting so badly right now that they feel like the only course of action is to destroy and to kill, if they were listened to, and I'm not saying just once, I'm saying if they had the ability to be held in their human experience, that maybe things could change. And I know there's gun the issues is guns. I get it. There's also mental health issues. There's also resourcing issues. There's also security issues. There are so many things. But as parents at home, how can we show up for our children so they don't feel so alone in their human experience that the only way to release it is through mass shootings of people who don't understand them, who have never been there for them? This is it's such a breakdown in community, and we are othering each other left and right. And we are passing blame and at the same time compartmentalizing the experiences and putting it on a shelf and living the rest of our day and also sending our children back to school. Rolling the dice with whether or not it will be our children's school the next time. Because it's not, it could happen anywhere. We are learning it happens everywhere. And it is not random, it is happening all the time. So, as parents, it is our job to do God, it is our job to do the work on ourselves, to be better, to show up better for our children, so that maybe our child has been modeled it so much that when they see the child at school being left out, they invite them in and that child feels less lonely. It is our job. God damn it. It is our job as parents to show up with so much grace and compassion that our children learn that there is another way. It's up to us as parents because we are not being helped by Congress. We are not being helped by lobbyists. So it's up to us to teach things at home and to model behavior at home, to breathe, to allow feelings, to hold the space for our children's human experience and to help them safely discharge the feelings and emotions that are so confusing in their bodies. And as parents, we can do that all from our homes. We can do that all by working on ourselves. Yes, call representatives. Yes, rally. Yes, do everything you can outside of the home as well. But in the home, make it count. Make it count. Thank you for listening. And to the families who experience this trauma, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. Okay. Thank you for listening. I hope that helped in any way, shape, or form. We can do better. We have to. We have to.
Thank you for listening to the Response Able Parenting podcast. If you like what you heard, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. If you know someone who would benefit from this podcast, I'd be honored if you'd share the episode with them. Until next time, know that you are enough. You are capable. You've made it through all of your hardest days, and we will keep growing on this parenting journey together.